Hey, everybody, it's Steve again. Kind of put out a couple videos for Memorial Day. Maybe I'm overdoing it, I don't know, but I just get on here and say what I had on my mind here a little bit, and I always do. Yeah, I don't like listening to my video or watching videos. I know it's kind of new to everybody watching videos, but you always don't have to watch. I mean, I'm not saying that you do, but today we got a good one for you, and this is going to light a fire under some people here, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of backlash on this, and I know I'm going to get some preaching done on this one to me. But we're going to talk about religion today. And through my travels, I have seen different types of religions, and I'm not talking about just Catholic, Baptist, Jews, Pentecostal, Jehovah's Witness. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about Buddhists. I'm talking about Hindus. I'm talking about you know, all kinds of all kinds of religion that I've had the opportunity to go through and see what they believe or whatever. So I wanted to share with you some of my experience here in Huntington that I've experienced with our religion. And I am going to touch on our churches. And I know that's taboo. I know you're not supposed to, because that's three things you're not supposed to talk about is politics, religion, and women. And that's going to get you in trouble every time, they say. So, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a whirl. Can't wait. I'll spend all afternoon answering people's questions, I guess. Well, first of all, I wanted to be known that I am a Christian. I uh, have to reach over and get them. I got two Bibles. I got this one Bible here, it's my Holy Bible, a King James version, and that's the one that I have here in my room, my man cave that I do my little research on religion. Then I have another one which is given to me from the Marine Corps. It's a field Bible that you can take out with you if you're out patrolling or whatever. You get a few minutes. Sometimes you're just bored and you want to read something, or you just want to read the Bible. That's how I read the Bible when I was in Afghanistan. When I got downtime, I'd read the Bible. But anyway, let's start where I digress. Let me get back to where I was going with this. And first of all, about our religion. Now, there's different ways we look at it because of our different denominations. There's different ways that we preach about it or whatever. And I'm not going to get into each individual religion. What I'm going to get into is the actual religion as a whole. Now, it has been said and it has been proven that the biggest downfall of a church will come from one instance, just one thing will bring down the church. I don't care what size it is, who it is, or whatever, but there's one thing that'll bring down a church. That's gossip. Gospel will bring down a church quicker than a fire will because of the fact is it spreads like wildfire. It doesn't matter if it's true or not, okay? And I'll give you some examples here. But you and I both know, okay? If we put 12 people in a room around a table, okay? And we went up there and we told one of them and said, just pass it around. We told one of them there's a snake in the tree, okay? And we just told them to pass it around to the last person or whatever. And they get back and say, okay, what did he say? Well, there was a snake tree. Johnny got bit. His mom was on the cell phone. She couldn't get 911, so the neighbor had to come over. And he took her to the hospital in his own car because the ambulance wouldn't get there fast enough. All that comes from the damn tree, the snake in the tree. Poor little Tommy, he didn't even do nothing. He'd probably go home and get his ass whooped, mess with snakes. That's just an example. How word spreads, it spreads like wildfire. And the thing about it is that everybody, this is human. Everybody wants to tell a story, but wants to be more important than that story. So they'll tell a little more, and then they'll tell a little more. I'll tell them. By the time you get finished telling a little more, hell, the world's coming to an end. So that's the biggest part about religion that we need to look out for, and it's basically something that we've had to adjust to. I mean, when you go to a church, that there's going to be certain topics that you're going to be gossiped about. Depending, it could be anything. One of the ones that I find really hard to get it is a lot of individuals. They get out with their family and they'll go to church on Sunday. No matter how hard they worked all weekend, they get up, they go to church with their family on Sunday. And we're talking about these old boys been out there on the pipeline all week, or been working, maybe working 410s, maybe 412s. They get off, and they won't take their family to church. Now they get up there, and they're working in the oil field, and you know what? They probably don't even own a suit. You know, probably don't even own a tie. And if they do, the one they got in there don't fit them no more. But they get up and take a shower and they get dressed up in the best way they can. What makes them feel comfortable? The newest pair of blue jeans, newest pair of boots, new shirt, comb your hair. And these boys go up there, you know what? And they go to church. Let me tell you, what'll happen is you got people in the back row, the front row, like, look how he's dressed. He just looks like trash. I don't believe he wants to come into this church. Look at them kids. And all they do is go to church. So what happens is that just because you're in that church don't mean that you get to play God and judge everybody. That ain't your place. That's his job. We got more people go to church thinking they need to do the Lord's job, do the work. Judging's up to him. Okay, you ain't got no say so about it. Okay, I don't care how hard you pray this man goes to hell. Good Lord's gonna say what he gets to do. Whatever. There we go with the gospel about people to come in, and it's even worse if somebody comes in off the street just wanting to go to church. We got people in the church spend all damn sermon trying to figure out where he come from. Is he a robber? Is he a Satanist? Is he, who in the hell he is? And why is he in our church? You know, man's in church. Right, leave him alone. So then the gossip gets to the point to where you know what? Then you don't even know who your friends are. You know, you notice when you walk out the door and a preacher meets you when you go out the door, people go out in little groups or whatever. You know, they go on their way or whatever. But you can damn sure bet when they get to the house, that texting thing is blowing up, talking about what she wore, what her hair looked like, how bad she looked, you know, what her his husband done all weekend, how he's running around on her cheating or whatever. They know all that shit. They know all of it. Now I don't believe that anywhere in the Bible that I've read, maybe, I'm not the theologian that I guess maybe I should be. But the fact is I ain't never read in that Bible where it says, you're required to talk about people behind their back. Talk down to people. I ain't never read that. If y'all did, y'all read another Bible I don't know about. Y'all send me a copy of that one. So we got a problem. Y'all say it's a problem, whatever, but that everything somebody get kicked off at somebody. They find out they gossip. They said something, and they don't go no more. And then they don't go because the other person didn't go. Next thing you know, there's a bunch of people at the church and they ain't got nobody else to talk about. So then they go to another church. Downfall of the church, not the religion. Because the difference between religion and actually church and preaching and those things, the good Lord said, if you've got two people or more, you've got a church right there. You don't need no fancy high-rise building. You don't need no tabernacle that goes up to the sky. You don't need some fancy fine gold looking things that are probably freaking brass anyway that you just painted. It's not a talent show. It's not gonna be on TV. It's not a reality show. Okay? You go to church to practice your religion. Okay? Your religion. You notice I said your, okay? Because everyone out here has their own personal relationship with the Lord. Everyone. Some is this way, some is that way, some is this way, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that you know what? Everybody has their own personal relationship with their Lord and how they praise the Lord and how they actually pray to the Lord. In other words, like old Tom T. Hall says, me and Jesus got our own thing going. And we don't need nobody in here gossiping, messing that up, getting me mad and everything because the fact is y'all don't talk about what kind of jeans I'm wearing. Or if I'm even wearing jeans. Or wear my cowboy hat. Church is a place where people go to pray to the Lord, and they're amongst other people that worshiping their Lord, the Lord, in their own way. And that Bible here, I was telling you right now, Jesus never said we all should be alike. Because we was all alike, you know what? We'd be a boring world. Jesus told us in the Bible, you know what? We're human and we're going to make mistakes. Some going to be big, some going to be bad, but we're going to make mistakes. He expects of us. We need to repent, so I ain't going to do that no more. Just necessarily because the church says, well, all you've got to do is redeem, and you redeem yourself in front of the church, and you're okay. No, you're not. You got to redeem yourself in front of the Lord. That's what matters. It don't matter what nobody else in the church thinks. You know if the Lord's can forgive you or not. Nobody else can tell you that. So, with the gossip thing going on, I mean, that breaks up so many churches that it's like, you know what? That's why we have so many turn people going around from church to church to church. Next thing is that, you know what? I don't need, okay? I don't really want to go to a church to where you make me feel good, okay? I want to know the real deal, okay? I want you to preach to me out of the Bible as it says so in the Bible so I can make up my own determination how it affects my life. I don't need you to explain it to me like I'm a 3-year-old of how you see it, how it's right, and I've got to believe it. I'm sorry, I got my own mind. I can think for myself and I can read. I like to go to church. I like to hear what other people are reading and what they get out of it. Because, like it said, the Bible is a living, breathing creature. It's the living word. So, in other words, it changes, okay, for all your life and everybody's life. The word changes to having different meanings. How many of y'all read something a couple years ago, whatever, that's in the Bible, you're like, that don't make no sense. Yeah. And then a year ago, you read the same thing. Oh, that's what you're talking about. That's what it's there for. You get from the Bible what you get because the Lord wants you to get it at that time. It's a walking progression. Everybody goes a little faster, get it slower. Okay, but if you're in that church and they're gospeling and putting people down and whatever, guess what? You just as bad as you shouldn't be in church. It don't, like I said, it don't say nothing about talking about people requirement to be a Christian. Next thing is you got the group of people in. I went to a church here in Huntington one time, and you know what? It was so bad. The fact is that you could tell who was the uppity group, ones that made money, and on the other pews you had the guys that worked for a living and didn't dress the way they were supposed to. Hell, they separated themselves right there in churches, and you can walk in there and tell them just by the way you look. Now you somebody go into that church, and say, well, I know where I'm supposed to sit. How does that come about? Why can't you go in and sit in the pew with somebody that's better off than you? I guess makes more money, got a bass boat. Why can't you just go sit at their pew? Oh, do it. I mean, gossip about your ass all the way out here. Yeah, I'm putting out the church, but you know what? Church represents a lot about the community. We got a big problem with that about people talking about people behind each other's back. I can sit here and make YouTube to get a lot of views, but no one says anything back. Now, the other thing with the church, the fact is that they got to make a stand on something. They can't stand up. They can't sit on a fence all the time and hide behind the Lord. You are human, and you have the right and ability to think and believe yourself and things that are matter important to you. You are allowed to do that. You can get advice from a preacher. You can get advice from people at church. You can get advice from everybody else. But the bottom line is, it comes down to you. I went to church one time, and it was in Lufkin. We were bouncing around going trying to which church we went. I went to Lufkin. Now I don't know if it was a church or not because I sat there in there in a pew. I spent the whole hour and 10 minutes going over the history of Mesopotamia. Now that's where I guess where the Muslims and the Jews and the Christians all got together. I don't know. I don't even know what the hell that story was because I ain't never been in Mesopotamia. I don't even think it exists anymore. So I ain't gonna go there because I ain't lost nothing there. Gave me a whole speech about Mesopotamia. Then at the end of it, he was talking about the different, religions, the Muslims and the Christians and the Jews and all this. So it kind of hit me because the fact is, I stayed after and I asked him. I said, "Sir," I said, "Excuse me, just one second." I said, "Sir," I don't understand something. I said, there's a whole bunch of people that are overseas right now or around the world that are being crucified. I mean, being worse than crucified, being beheaded, being treated. I mean, just being killed. I'll blame any way they can kill them. And who are they killing? They're killing Christians. Now you're a Christian. Wouldn't you want somebody back over here praying for your butt if you were over there as a Christian? If they're over there killing Christians, wouldn't you make your mind up and say, you know what, that's wrong. I'm a Christian too. What happened to them can happen to me. But well, we don't. We have prayer warriors. I ain't seen one prayer warrior, a group of prayer warriors right now ever pray for somebody over in a Muslim country or over there getting killed by a Muslim. And you're just trust me, you're getting killed just because you're a Christian. That ain't about the way you look, it ain't about the way you talk, no, it's because you are a Christian. You got two choices. You can either conform to being a Muslim, and if you do that, then you got to pay $300 a month just to stay a Muslim, or you get killed. Use an example. They don't care either way. But I digress. When I asked this individual, I said, don't you think that Christians should actually just acknowledge this is happening and pray for them? Here's the answer I got back from the preacher. This is a church. We have no flags here. I didn't ask you if you had a flag. I didn't ask you if you had. What I want to know is that, I don't care if it's American, Belgian, English. I don't care. They're still Christians. If they come over here and they want to go to church, they'll be welcome in our church because they're Christians. Why can't we pray for them? Why can't we pray for their safety? Why can't we pray to them and we can actually admit in the church house that somebody out there is killing Christians just because they're Christians? Oh, we can't do that. You know why? Because that's something. You don't do that because the fact is, you know what? Too many times a preacher goes in there and does his darn speech or his preaching based on how it makes us feel. He wants us to. We want to go in there and make feel good. That right there, you preach about that, it don't make you feel too good. Start asking yourself why. Well, in the Bible it says, turn the other cheek. I get that. I can understand that whole philosophy, whatever. If somebody hits you on the cheek, okay, better than that. Somebody hit you on the other cheek, okay. But what are you supposed to do when some bitch just knocks you square in the mouth? Excuse my language, sometimes I'm sorry about that, bro. When he hits you square in the mouth, and you ain't got no more cheeks to turn, what happens then? I tell you what, the good Lord put into you a little thing that He says, you know what? It's the fight or flight syndrome. Which one are you going to do? You're going to fight or you're going to fly. Whichever one is the safest. Okay? And yeah, flight, that's pretty good because the fact is you avoid trouble. You avoid your trouble, baby, you run, but guess what? One or two things going to happen pretty soon. You're going to get tired of running or you're going to run out of places to run. Sun Tzu said it best in The Art of War. Sun Tzu said, you know how he used to make his warriors fight? He would purposely put them into a situation where they were surrounded. And in the back of them was a big, big mountain. He would force them in that mountain or in that bottom of that mountain, and he would want the enemy to attack them. Everybody like, well, that's crazy. No. Sun Tzu said, no, it's not, because the fact is, he said, you know what? Men will fight better if they know they have something to fight for. It's their life. Nobody else fights for anything better than their life. But I digress. My church member also said that. I don't understand, and I'll give you an example of a church that I used to go to back in California. I like this church. It was non-denominational. It wasn't one of those hippie churches. I can hear this guy Dan coming back. Oh, you went to California? You must smoke that dope, smoke that weed. I think I've addressed that, but I'll address that here in a minute. But anyway, it was a nice church. It was not too big of a church, but not too small of a church. And every month, we'd all get together as a community, as a church, and we'd sit down and we'd have Sunday supper or lunch. We'd have Sundays. We'd sit down. Now, we didn't have to donate nothing. All the men and women, men too, all the men and women, we would make something and bring it. You got to go in there and eat free. We would even bring people, hungry people off the street to come in and just get something to eat. Did we force them to go to church after? No. Did we have church after? No. That wasn't the reason. The reason for being there was the fact is that we would actually mix and mingle with other Christians. That's what it's all about. That's what church is about. To mix and mingle with other people who have the similar faith as you do. Now, I say that because the fact is that you can look into Penny Saver or you can look in our newspaper today. The first 3 pages of that will be all advertisements. And every dang advertisement's asking for money. Okay? That tells you something. $8 donation here, $8 donation here, $8 much. I can go down there to Dairy Queen and buy me a $5 taco meal. I got to donate. Not only that, I got to go in there. And here's another thing. Okay, well, let's go here. About passing that offering, and everybody's going to say, well, you got to give your tithe. It's 10%. Okay, I'll give by with that or whatever. But and I don't mind that. I put my money in there, and I put the same amount in there. Unless I have a good month, I'll throw an extra 20 in the plate. If I was bad on Thursday, then you know what, I'll throw an extra 20 in there. Say, sorry, Lord, if that's what it takes, I guess. But there got people, and mostly the women and men too. When you start passing that plate, they can look and they can tell you to the man how much money you put in that plate. Yeah, they can tell you to the penny how much money you dropped in that plate. It don't make no difference if you got them little envelopes like you're supposed to hide. No, they know exactly how much. Tell me that ain't. Tell me what ain't something. Or let me tell you another thing. When that plate goes by and somebody don't drop nothing in there, they'll pour you down and you're like whatever. You don't dump nothing in there. Hell, the Lord's word's free. The Lord he ain't charging you no money for his speaking, for his preaching. He ain't charging you nothing. Why the heck I got to give a donation and pay tithe for the church? Well, it maintains the church. Okay, I'll buy that and I understand that. Keep the church up, keep it looking nice or whatever. But since when to keeping up with the church? All the thing I see is that all of our donations, we got a brand new building going up, trying to make it higher up there to see the Lord. We got big to high building. We got more buildings built or whatever, and we're still asking for donations and we're still asking for people to give us money. The Lord got mad whenever he went up there to preach. When those people was outside his church house or the church house, he went up there to preach, and he got so angry because the fact that people were outside selling trinkets, making money off of his name. He turned that dad burn table over and was like, "No, we ain't be doing this. This is what I'm all about." Then he was asked the question, says, "What do we give? What do we do? Do we give to Caesar or we give to God?" Lord said, he said, "Give to Caesar what's due Caesar, and give God what's due the Lord." What's saying how much money, Lord? How much do you think you owe? Because you know what, nobody can tell you how much it is because the fact is that's on you. You know if you're giving enough. You know if the Lord thinks it's acceptable. Not the preacher, not that lady sitting down on the first row in a pew over there with her hat all hanging out where you can't see the preacher. And why in the hell, you know what? If you're sitting in the first 3 pews up there, why in the hell you got to keep looking back at us? He, white trash coming up in there, ruining our church. Well, Jesus, man, the first people he hung out with was the sinners. He hung out with the sinners, the gamblers, the drunks, the thieves, because he knew they needed him more than everybody else did. Now, here's to the other people, too, that, have been going to church every Sunday because the fact is, you know what? It's a status thing. Because the fact is, you know what? I got to go to church. If I'm going to go to church, people think. Go to church so people can see you. I don't believe that's what the Lord intended. I believe the Lord intended to go to church so you could actually go somewhere with a group of people that worship the Lord. Just because you've been seen don't mean nothing. You can go to church Every Sunday be the biggest sinner there is. A whole bunch of them. Matter of fact, our pastors here we got here in Huntington, they got a history. Check them out after. They got a history of something. But we don't talk about the preacher. Then ask who this preacher is. How does he know? I mean, how do you know he didn't grow up in Garden Grove somewhere, Louisiana or something? Got out of jail for bank robbery and come down here and said he's a preacher. How do we know that? We don't know. So religion is something that's between you and the Lord. You don't need it. You don't need approval by anybody to worship the way you want to, pray the way you want to, and to be how you are in your religion, because that's the way it works with you and the Lord, yourself, your relationship. People look at you, well, you're doing this right, you're doing this right. The Lord says you do this. I don't need you to tell me. The good Lord will tell me I'm doing something wrong. I know when I'm doing something wrong, but I'm a human. So guess what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it, thinking I can get away with it, because I'm human. I'm supposed to make mistakes, but I learn from them mistakes. The good Lord teaches me, don't be doing that no more. I'm warning you, don't be doing that no more. You keep doing it, it's gonna get worse. The good Lord ain't gonna give up on you. He's gonna say, try and teach you lessons, and don't do that. Our relationship with the Lord, where you know what, you can walk around all day, and just talk to the Lord and say, you know what, and talk to Him like you got a sense of humor. You know, talk to Him like He's your friend. That's what He wants to be, as your friend. He wants to guide you through life. He wants to guide you through life through good, bad, ugly, whatever. Don't forget about Him during the good times and just only remember on the bad. And if you're talking about somebody, then guess what? You should spend some more time worrying about what you're doing. What's the Bible say? Don't worry about the speck in my eye until you or the plank or the what splinter in my eye until you remove the plank from yours. You got time to gossip about people and what they are and what they ain't or whatever. You just need to spend some time on yourself. You need to spend some time on these of yourself. You got to get right with Jesus. And when you get right with Jesus, you need to work on staying that way. And it don't take nobody's opinion of you. It don't take nobody's idea of what this perfect Christian is, and you're not living up to it. It ain't about them. It's about you and the Lord. I look at it when that's way, and I'm the first one. I mean, I'll be honest. Y'all know I just get on here and say what's on my mind, tell you what I think. Y'all may hate me, but you know what? At least you know where I'm coming from. Because respect is earned. And the fact of the matter is that you know what, you look at it every day is when you go and you get up in the morning all throughout your day, you know what? My job is to try to have the Lord respect me for what I did today. Just respect what I did today. And when I go and I do certain things or whatever out of the goodness of my heart, you know what? The Lord put it there for me and He told me and He reminded me of it. He said, go ahead and do it, and I go ahead and do it. What do you mean by that? Now, I see somebody out here, okay, and I ain't been eating. See a lot of vets that I always stop. I'll give them money too. I'll give them money too. I know good and well I'm a vet too. I'll give them enough money. Okay, I know you go buy your beer, get something to eat first, because I ain't had a chance to make it up to the VA and be treated properly. So the fact is that if you want to start talking about being a Christian, talk about who's not being a Christian, why don't you start talking about how you can be a better Christian? Everybody can improve on being in Christianity. Everybody can improve on getting closer to the Lord. But it don't stop with Mary Jane down in the front row at her approval. It starts from approval from God saying, here we go. We're gonna be on this journey. We're gonna be on this journey, me and you. You're gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna pick you up. You're gonna dust yourself off. We're not gonna make that one again. But guess what? Down the road there's gonna be another mistake. Because all the while, I believe the good Lord's teaching us and training us for what was coming up next. You got to work your way to heaven. Everybody knows that. Me, myself, I'm not going to go to heaven. No, I'm not. And I'm not going to go to heaven. I'm a Marine. I'm the one that sits out there and guards the gate. That's my head. So I ask you, as religious people, do me a favor and do yourself a favor. Stop the gossip, okay? Stop talking about everybody and how much better they can be, and accept them for who they are. You may have advice for them. Your Lord don't like it. Yeah, no, don't like it. You think he gets it off, whatever. No, he gets it. Whoever you talk to, they get it. Yeah, no, she got a point. He got a point. And that's what religion's all about. It's not how big the building is. It's not how high it goes. It's not about what you wear. And it's not about who you know. It's not about who you sit with. It's not. It's about you and the Lord. And you're taking time to go to church and worship with others to the Lord. The Lord don't change. He ain't somebody to you different, whatever. No. But the good Lord has a way with everybody. The good Lord has a way of getting to everybody in their own way. What works for Mary Jane don't work for me. What works for me don't work for Mary Jane. Okay, fine, accept it. But the thing about it is that we've got to come to the point where, you know what, we accept it what it is and we deal with the problem. Reason why it's such a big problem is because the fact is it's gossiping. Nobody says it out loud. We got a problem with that in Huntington all the way around. We damn sure don't need it in our church. Or our church is. I don't want a preacher, okay, just to read me out of the Bible and tell me what he thinks. I want him to apply it to life, what we're going through today. Because, like I said, it's the living word. And guess what? Everything in that Bible, just because they wrote it that many years ago, don't mean the same shit ain't happening right now. And you could apply that word to the good Lord. And I say, okay, when Marsh came with, okay, Lord, I don't understand. Tell me. You know? Don't worry about what Mary Jane said it should be or the preacher said it should be. I don't know, Lord. I don't get it. Talk to me. Tell me something. And the Lord, you're going to do it on the Lord's time. Lord just don't fix. No, he don't. Sometimes you got to work for it. Sometimes you got to work for it for the fact is, you know what, to understand the reason why you did. Because y'all know as well as I do that ain't the lessons you remember are the ones that, you know what, you had to you had to work at, are the ones that impacted you the worst when you hit rock bottom because you made that mistake. Won't be doing that again. Sometimes that's what the Lord does, let you hit bottom to teach you a lesson. Now the good Lord is out there for everybody, for every religion. And I tell you this right now, I don't get other religions. I know one thing, though. I mean, the Jehovah's Witnesses won't come over here because whenever they come over here, I break out my Bible and they start talking. I thought, well, let's go to work. Let's get some preaching done. Let's go. And you learn something from somebody. I may not agree with it at the time. You know, I look there and like, you know what? That's what he meant. Well, that's good Lord working right there. Like I said, Jehovah's Witnesses don't come to my house because they want to talk. I'll make a joke here and I'm going to hear about this or whatever. Well, Jehovah's Witnesses came doors. I'm so and so with the Jehovah's Witnesses. So we just want to know if we can talk to you about the Bible a little bit. I said, hold on. I went out there and got my Bible. I said, what are we going to talk about? And he looked at me and he goes, I said, what's the matter? Like he looked like he was done. I said, what's the matter, man? You choked up? What's the matter? He goes, no, man, I ain't never got this far before. There you go. Get that far. Have a conversation about it. Don't back down just because somebody said they've been going to church there for 52 years. I don't care if you've been going to the same church 15 to 52 years. You still got something to learn. Right up until that day that the good Lord calls you home, you're still going to be learning something because the good Lord's still going to be teaching you something. Some of it are hard headed than others. Some of them don't listen. Sometimes you got to keep going or whatever. And you know what? Maybe you should look at it like that. You know what? The Lord's got a lot of work to him yet. Do him. I'm the first one to tell you this right now. You know what I mean? The Lord ain't finished with me yet. He ain't finished with me yet. And when you put prayer wars together, remember all that you're praying for. We're praying for Christians around the world. Right now, you wouldn't want to be a Christian in a Muslim country. Right now, that's not a good idea. But why is it a secret? Why can't our religion, why can't our churches get up and say, look, we've got an issue here with people killing Christians. They don't like us. And we're going to pray for them. Sorry, can't get down with that. They chose their way, they chose their God, and they done chose Muhammad, whatever they did. I don't believe in that, so guess what? We'll agree to disagree, but now it stops whenever you start killing people, especially like killing kids. Now, you know what? The Lord tell me to do something. Because you can look all through that Bible, but there's a lot of battles fought. A lot of battles for Christianity. Who read up on your crusades. There's a lot of times when Christians had to defend themselves being Christian. That's the only reason why. Just because of their belief in the Lord. And that's worth fighting for. I keep saying it over and over again. Find something that you're worth and you're willing to fight for and stand for it. You believe in the Lord, then guess what? Stand for Him. Stand upright. Say, I'm a Christian. Dang right I am. This is what I believe. Don't get all ticked off when somebody don't believe exactly as you believe. If you're a Christian, you got one thing in common. I mean, the Lord, the God is King. All the other stuff, you know what? That goes down, breaks it down per religion. And you know what? I don't really care about all that because all I need to know, you believe in God. Yeah, okay, it's good enough for me. I don't know how you got there to believe in Him, but you got there. And I'll tell you this right now. For all you non-believers, questioning your belief are too cool to go to the church house, are too cool to get down on your knee. Remember this. I ain't never in my life seen an atheist in a fonso. When shit hit the fan, I ain't never seen nobody that ain't praying to the Lord, one way or another. So remember that. Because when it gets down and it gets bad and it gets dirty, the first person you run to is Lord. Now, why is that? If you're participating in the gossip and everything around Huntington, and also especially in our churches, please stop going. You're not doing anybody else any good, and you're sure not doing yourself good. I give the analogy of this. The fact is, you know what? Thou shalt not steal. Okay. Here's the mentality we got here in Huntington. Okay. Well, he just stole a cookie. He just stole a cookie. That's not a big deal. He stole a cookie. Oh, well, you look at it. Or he stole the car. Now that's more serious, right? Stealing the car is more serious. That's we get more complaints on that. But see, in the big book, what it means is thou don't steal. Period. It don't make no difference if it's a cookie or if it's an automobile. It's the same thing. You're breaking the commandment. You can't bend the religion the way you want. You can't bend the Ten Commandments the way you want to. You can't bend His words by taking it out of context and putting one word here, putting one word there, and expect it to be the truth. That is blasphemy. And for any low person that would actually do that and change the words and what the Lord said to make it to where his opinion is noticed, and he might be right or he is right about that opinion, but it's been all mixed up in context, shame on you. Shame on you. We have a good Christian-based society. We have people here that believe in the Lord. We have people that wear in the Bible Belt who portray that. We have people here that are proud to be Christians, very proud. But we're going to throw it all away because we're going to kill ourselves. Because the fact is that we're going to gossip reigns true, talking about people reign true, and we put all of that petty stuff before what's important, and that's serving the Lord. Some people do it different than others. But as long as they're trying, you got to give them credit for it. And I don't really mind if I go into church or anywhere in the town or whatever. I don't really care what you think about me. I don't care if you agree with me. I don't care whatever. But believe it or not, I'm here to try to make this town a good town based on what I've seen and where I've been. I know people here in Huntington, you know what? They got their own mind set up, whatever. I ain't never been out of Huntington. They sure got an opinion about everything else. How do you know if you ain't never been there? Give you an example. I sit around here and nobody thinks it's a big deal or whatever. And that's just my pet peeve. And I'm sorry, y'all probably heard it before. But y'all walk around here, whatever, you know what? And people blowing crap up and stuff, killing kids. Last, 2 nights ago, they bombed an ice cream shop. Nobody thinks nothing about it. They killing Christians, but nobody over here cares. It's not here. It's not going to affect us. It's not affect me nothing. And you don't even pray for them. So I don't understand the reason where the line starts and where it draws itself. Which Christians do we pray for and which ones don't we pray for? When is a church going to get up and stand, or somebody in a church say, I'm tired of them killing kids. I'm tired of them killing Christians. I'm tired of it. It's genocide. This is getting to be genocide, and you're ignoring it. How when's the last time we took up a donation to send it to some people over there, a Christian country over there that don't have that, because the fact is that they're trapped in a place where they can't get out. Last thing I want to mention too is all these prayer boards and everybody praying or whatever. Okay, look, we don't want to. Okay, and we can do it better. Put it this way, we can do it better. Okay, every prayer our warrior gets up, or every little thing we actually offer prayer for, is for somebody who's passing away. Okay, praying for the Lord to heal him, praying for the Lord. Look, the good Lord's got His own plan of what He's going to do with this individual. It's out of your hands. It's part of life. You're born, you live, you're going to pass away. There ain't nothing to be scared of. But the best you can do is for your loved one or somebody that you're praying for. You know what? The best thing you can do is spend time with them. Pray for them, yes. But instead of praying them to heal them and to make them like they used to be, why don't you pray for them to be comfortable in the shape they're in? And pray for them when they go, make it as comfortable and natural as they can be. No pain, no nothing. Get up and say a prayer, because you know what? That's what you hope for. He don't suffer. Because if you pray to make him to save his life or whatever, look, that's something, you know what, that you're asking God to do that's not going to happen. God gives you reality to deal with. I'm not saying ignore it. I'm not saying not pray for him. I'm not saying that. But look what you're praying for. Are you praying for somebody to stay on life support that you don't even know if they're still here because their brain's been dead for 3 years? Is that the way you want him to go? For what? For him to wake up and not know who he is, whatever? Can't remember nobody, whatever? And live that life? Leave it up to the Lord, okay? Pray for their comfort. Pray for them to get to a point where they can heal, to where they can be comfortable. Because it's a natural process, everybody's going to go. And that's a hard thing we have to do in the church. We have a hard time of letting go. Because the fact is, you know what? We blame the Lord because they took him from our life. We blame the Lord. It's a natural progression. He tells you you're going to live and you're going to die. Don't question. You ain't earned that right. Stop questioning God, because you ain't earned that right. Stop talking about people. Stop judging people. Lord don't like it. Start accepting people for who they are. Even though you may not agree with everything they say, at least acknowledge their existence and talk to them. I got people in some churches, you know what, they won't even talk to each other because they got their nose so far up in the air, and they think, when they drown, it rains, they're going to drown. They're better than that. Better than you, better than everybody around here. I'm sick and tired of that. Sick and tired of people around Huntington walking around here, you know what, like just because they make enough money, they're on the city council, or they had a position, or they're old, and they've lived in here all their life, that they somebody. Prove it. Every dang day, prove it. Every dang day, go up there and represent yourself and represent the Lord. And it's just as sin, it's just as anybody else, and it's just right there in the Bible. Do not think that you're better than somebody else, and dang, you better not show it. Because the good Lord knows it, and God don't like ugly. And that, my friend, is a sin. When you look down on other people and talk down to them and treat them like dirt, and treat them like that they don't know anything just because of their raising or where they come from, whatever. My son, is a sin. Y'all hit me back. I'm sure I'll get a lot of feedback. That's one thing too about Hank. You know, I can come up there and say whatever. Everybody watches the video, but nobody says nothing. What does that tell you about you? What does that say about you? You know, I don't like confrontation. Well, I'm just judge the hell out of him. Prove my point. Steve, keep powder dry, keep mama happy, keep good food and water on them dogs, and you'll be all right.